Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that be linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. 3 days to go until the January transfer window closes. We're actually in February, but the January transfer window is closed. Actually, the Saudi transfer window closed last night, and it's really strange, right, that a lot of Premier League clubs have been waiting for the Saudi window to close before they make their moves. So fearful are they of the clubs in Saudi Arabia and their spending power, that there's a lot of clubs that have just been like, listen, we want to bid for a certain player or go for a certain player, but we know they'll just blow us out the water, like what they did with John Duran. So let's wait, get them out of the way, then we can do our dealings. How things have changed in the transfer market with the Saudis now, big players in it. But now that that's closed, hopefully Arsenal can get on with their business. Of course, the signing we've been speaking about over the last few days has been Ollie Watkins. Unai Emery, the manager of Aston Villa, confirming yesterday that Ollie Watkins is staying at the club. He said that Ollie Watkins said to him he's staying. Despite that, there's still been lots of rumours going around today saying that it ain't over. He could still move to Arsenal. A lot of people are citing the fact that Aston Villa are at the moment actively trying to bring in Marcus Rashford on loan from Manchester United before the end of the transfer window. Does that mean that they'd be willing to let Ollie Watkins go? I'm starting to think that Ollie Watkins thing's dead now. Listen, it's not going to get over the line, in my opinion. But who am I to know? I could be wrong, but it's starting to look like that's dead. And if the manager said he's staying, surely he's staying, But let's wait and see. But it looks like Ollie Watkins will stay. But it'd be crazy for them to let him go now, now that John Duran has also left as well. So I see that as highly unlikely. So who are Arsenal going to get? There's been suggestions that they might step up their pursuit of Benjamin Šeško. Now, Šeško, as I've been saying all along this January transfer window, is said to have a gentleman's agreement with RB Leipzig that he can leave in the summer for around about £60 million, that if somebody comes in with that bid, they will let him go. However, will Arsenal go back in before the end of the transfer window with something that's going to have to be ridiculous, 75, 80 million, which then tempts RB Leipzig and says, all right, we'll let him go early. They want to keep hold of him. Even though they're out of the Champions League, they're trying to get back in the Champions League for next season, and they see Šeško as such an important player. But can Arsenal make him an offer they can't refuse before the end of the window? Who knows? But at this stage, looks like Benjamin Šeško's staying put. But one player that could go is Dušan Vlahović of Juventus. Now, there's been lots of rumours since the whole Ollie Watkins thing started to go, really south and look like it's not going to happen, that Arsenal may put in a big offer to try and get him away from Juventus. It is doable. He's on high wages at Juventus, so maybe that might be a stumbling block. Maybe Arsenal would prefer to take him on loan from now till the end of the season, which again, don't think Juventus are keen on that. But now the fact that they brought in Kolo Muani may tempt them into letting Dušan Vlahović go if a big offer comes in. I know I've been drumming on about this for days and days, the fact that he hasn't signed a new deal yet. The new contract is not signed with Juventus. And it does look like if he doesn't go now, he's going to go in the summer. But Arsenal are desperate for a striker. Remember, this was the guy that was their number one target a few years ago and ended up going to Juventus. Will Arsenal make a deadline day deal to try and get him done? There's a lot of rumours going around. I was with Rudy Galletti and various different journalists over there in Italy that are saying that this could possibly be a late deal that Arsenal do to get that striker in that they really, really need. This was definitely one to keep an eye on. But Dušan Vlahović being mentioned again today, as is Evan Ferguson of Brighton, the 20-year-old Being linked by The Guardian today, they're saying that Arsenal held talks with Brighton about a potential move for the striker. But what would a potential move be? Would it be a loan? Arsenal can't do 2 loans because they've already got, Neto on loan, Sterling on loan. All right, they could make the Neto deal permanent or send one of those back. Can you send back Neto at the moment, say, for instance, when you see the fact that, he had to play in goal the other night and there's been rumours that Raya may not even be fit for the Man City game. How could you not, have Neto as your backup goalkeeper or send him back? I see that's highly unlikely. And as I've been saying all along, it's more likely that Ferguson's going to go to somewhere where he's going to play a lot of football. And is he going to play a lot of football? Is he going to start as a 20-year-old coming in at Arsenal? I'm not sure about that at all. I suggested Jonathan David yesterday on the show. And really interesting to see these reports coming in that Liverpool bid £10 million to take Jonathan David now. Before the end of the season, his contract is up. He can walk away from Lille for absolutely nothing. But even with a £10 million bid, Lille have turned that down. They would rather keep him than let him go for 10 million. And they're not interested, according to the reports, in letting him go at all, despite the fact that they're going to lose him for nothing at the end of the season. So, again, it's another striker that's available out there. Do you go and put a crazy bid in? Or is it this one inevitable that the club's just not letting him go and he's going to be there until the summer? But Jonathan David, one to watch. The Matheus Cunha one's gone really, really quiet. Remember about a week and a half ago, this was really hotting up. Matheus Cunha was being considered. We know that he hadn't signed that new deal, still hasn't signed that new deal. But again, with the injury last week to Strand Larsen, which has been confirmed by their manager yesterday, that he's going to be out for a few weeks with a muscle injury, could even be more. The likelihood of Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are now in the bottom 3, letting Cunha go when they're in a big relegation fight is highly unlikely. In the summer, yes, expect Cunha definitely to move on. But right now in January, this one looks like it's very, very unlikely to happen. Also been linked with Mathys Tel. Been speaking about this one for the last few days. It was all looking like he could go to Tottenham yesterday. Daniel Levy, the owner of Tottenham, even flew out to Germany to get the deal done. But Mathys Tel has turned Tottenham down. He doesn't want to go to Tottenham. He's got sense, you see. Right, he doesn't want to go to Tottenham. Manchester United have apparently opened talks with Tel as well. Nothing concrete yet, but they're speaking to him as well. And there's rumours that Arsenal are interested as well. The only thing is £50 million on a player that's sort of left winger, youngster, 19 years old. I don't know. I see that as highly unlikely. Again, is that what Arsenal need right now? They've got players in that position, but we can't discount it because we know they need 4 players. And maybe if Arsenal don't get the striker, then they go for a wide player. One to have a look at. And one player who's left Arsenal is Ayden Heaven. Spoke about this the other day. The 18-year-old defender, centre-back. His scholarship finishes at the end of this season. Poached away by Manchester United. Another Cheeto Martin. They've now got Ayden Heaven as well. He's left today to join Manchester United. They've only had to pay around about £1 million for him, which is a compensation fee because he's on a scholarship. But he's left with immediate effect, and he is a Manchester United player. They're poaching away a couple of our youngsters, Manchester United. Listen, it just shows the excellent players that we're producing at our academy. But Arsenal won't be happy with the fact that they've lost him in effect for very, very cheap, when they really would have wanted to sign him on a new contract and keep the value of the player. And then there's Sverre Nypan. We've been speaking about him over the past week or so. He was considering a move to Arsenal, considering a move to Man City. There was several clubs after him, the 18-year-old Norwegian. He's decided to stay at Rosenborg until the summer. So he won't be joining Arsenal. He's going to stay there till the summer. When he then's going to consider where he goes to. Nypan, a hot prospect. A lot of people thinking that he was going to be joining Arsenal this month, but he's staying till the summer at Rosenborg. So those are today's rumours. Still no striker in, still no forward player in. Time is running out. Effectively, we got Sunday, and during Sunday, remember, we got the Man City game going on. It's a huge game. Then Monday. Guys, saddle up for a busy deadline day here for Arsenal, because we got to get somebody in. We got to get somebody in. But so far, nobody in. Heaven's gone out. Arsenal need signings. Thanks for watching the show, and I'll see you tomorrow.